Arcade Perfect, my arse. Okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect, my arse. This week I'm taking a look at Thunderblade, released by Sega. Now this was one of these classic sprite scaling games, similar to Afterburner. I think this came after Afterburner, and it definitely came out after Space Harrier and Outrun, I think. If you want to check, go and have a look elsewhere. So let's get this bad boy going. Now, I don't know how this is going to play actually. Right, okay, pulling back. That is nice sprite scaling, really nice. Ah, there we go, okay, right. We're in business. How do we fire? Right, so we've got guns, and we've also got... Yeah, I need to try and not point down away, because if I press down, it goes down. I don't think I ever saw... Whoa! That was close. Start mission, have I not started yet? I don't think I've actually ever seen this in the arcades. I may have, I don't know. Certainly haven't played it before. The only version of this I played was the Amiga one. Very impressive looking though. Yeah, it changes viewpoint as well, no less. Now this is just ripe for a 3DS version, because Nintendo brought out some really nice 3D versions of Outrun and Space Harrier. Was this already released? Possibly, I'm not too sure. But it is, got to say, it is really impressive when you think of how old the game is. Whoa! Impressive, unlike my skills. Right, how do we take off? Ah, it's back. Yeah, it actually conveys quite a good 3D effect, just the way it is actually. Whoa! Right, anyway, let's take a look at some home versions and see if they're any good or not. Right, okay, this is the C64 one. This was released by US Gold. There was actually a second version of this released by a different company, I think it's the Grand Slam, which I'll take a look at later on. It was the same with Afterburner. There was two different versions of that. There was an American one and there was a UK one. I think the American one was a lot better. I might be wrong, I'm not too sure. So anyway, Chris Butler, he is a very competent programmer. He also programmed, amongst other things, Commando in the C64 and Space Harrier. Both excellent versions. So let's give this a go. Right, so pulling up. Makes you go up and down. It's not bad sprite scaling actually. Never played this before. You know what, I was fearing the worst with this game because it's kind of pseudo 3D, and the C64, as we all know, is just not up to the task for 3D games, but I've got to say this is not half bad. When you look at the way, it's quite clever the way he's done buildings. It's just basically squares on top of each other, offset slightly to give the impression of 3D. Yeah, I mean graphics are fairly basic, but absolutely it kind of moves along at a fair rate of knots, which is quite impressive. Plus it's playing a little tune as well. But you know, it's easy, very easy to forget just what a technical accomplishment it was to get an arcade game even like this running in such a computer that's got such a small amount of memory. Yeah, listen, that's actually not too bad. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the other version and we'll just see how that stands up. Right, okay, this is the Mindscape Sega version. Now, interestingly, it does say it's also programmed by Chris Butler, so it looks like this is probably the same game. but I see they've tweaked the. You'll notice Chris Butler's name was on the high score table, or at the very top, but it's not here. I mean, he's on the high score table, but it doesn't mention his name. So let's give it a go. I know also it's got different music. Whoa, that was quick. How did I move forward? Hold down the fire button. There we go, that's it now. Yeah, it's absolutely identical graphics, I think. Is it? I think it is. But interestingly, they've changed the music. And not for the better, I wouldn't say. I think I prefer the music in the other version. I've just noticed there's a little kind of diagram just to the right hand side of where it says distance. So that's showing you how far you've got to go before you get to the end. It actually feels like they've changed the controls slightly as well. But yeah, I think graphically this is identical to the earlier one we played, but I think the music is definitely different. You know what? It is actually. What I'm going to do, just for argument's sake, I'm going to split this screen into two. Right at the very top, we've got the Mindscape one, and on the bottom we've got the US Gold one. Now, immediate differences: they've changed the background colour from green to grey. The helicopter is blue in the Mindscape, and it's purple in the US Gold one. Just trying to actually, it's hard to see. I think possibly the actual graphics look marginally better in the Mindscape one. Difficult to see really. Yeah, the clouds look better in the Mindscape one for sure. Yeah, it's marginal. So yeah, you can decide what one you want to play, if any. So that's the Commodore 64 versions. Let's take a wee look at the Atari ST one. Now this has got some really scratchy digitised sound. This is what happened in the early days. They basically just ported the sound across, digitised it, and they used a very low recording sample, so the sound was pretty rubbish. I remember getting this game for the ST thinking, wow, it looks really good, but I've got to say, looking at it now, it's not that impressive. Now I'm playing this under an emulator, and usually the emulator runs games too quick, so this game is, it's not like, you know, you can blame the emulator for playing the game too slow. If I remember rightly, I think the ST one wasn't the best. I mean, graphically wise, explosions are nice, the actual sprites are nice. You can see here everything's just chugging along at a really slow frame. I can't even speak properly today. A really slow frame rate. And annoyingly, they've got this, you know, I would say a quarter of the screen is taken up with the name of the game. Do we really need that? Was that their attempt to try and keep the frame rate up? I don't know. If it was, then they probably need to make the title screen even bigger and just have the actual action taking up a quarter of the screen. I say it looks impressive. I think if you had the ability to accelerate your Atari ST, then this game probably would have, it would have looked nice. It's just really not up for the job for a game like Thunderblade, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know what frame rate you're talking about, probably 10 frames a second, if that. So yeah, not the greatest one. That is the Atari ST. Right, this is the PC Engine. I've got high hopes for this one. I mean, it's an old system, but oh, I like that music. That is nice. Right, they've changed the way this controls. You'll see there the helicopter just instantly appears in the sky, whereas the arcade one and also the C64 and indeed the Atari ST ones, you've got to throttle back to actually raise the altitude of the helicopter. But this one has kind of taken a slight shortcut, and your helicopter just appears in the sky. Graphically, it's nice, detailed sprites, but you can see there it's chugging along at pretty slow frame rate once again. Will the 3D section be any better? Marginally. Yeah, it's got a nice road effect. I think Lawn Boys post 1975, he actually remarked on, he did a video playing this particular version. He remarked on how the road did look quite impressive. I've got to agree with Dave actually. This section definitely feels better, it certainly plays better. The first section, again, it's just way too sluggish, unfortunately. Yep, so that is the PC Engine version. The 3D section is definitely quite impressive, but the first bit isn't that great. So let's take a look at another version. Right, okay, this is the ZX Spectrum one. So how do we do this? So it's 3 for Kemp's and joystick. Let's go for joystick control. Fire, there we go. Right, come on, what's going on? Right, pull back, take off, and some forwards movement. Right, updating wise, graphically wise, it's really nice. Yeah, it's monochrome, and it's also very difficult. Right, pull back, and forwards. The controls using a single joystick aren't the most intuitive. It does work, but it's not as easy as the arcade one, because you're having to sort of pull back with fire button as well. Right, are we going to? That can't be the level over already, is it? Come on. Right, let's get a bit of height. Come on, give me a break. Obviously games are not written for the purpose of people to make videos. I mean, it's certainly better than the Commodore 64 one. It's obviously not as colourful as the C64, but graphically and updating wise, it's a lot better. Yeah, game over. Right, I'm not going to try again. That is the Spectrum one. Let's take a look at the Amstrad one, I think. Right, okay, this is the Amstrad one, and again it was a complete pain in the arse to actually get loaded because it uses multi-load. I don't know where that impacts with emulators, I don't know. So let's see what this one's like. Right, colour wise it's certainly the most colourful of 8 bits, which consider the Spectrum's only 2 colours, it's not surprising. It's not got the same sort of pace as the Spectrum one, but I mean, this is use of colours nice, graphics are quite nice, albeit they are a wee bit pixelated, which is what you expect. And again, you've got it's quite a clever sort of technology they're using there, where they just overlay, or not technology, clever programming technique, where they just overlay black and white squares on top of each other, and they slightly offset them to sort of give the impression of height, because obviously 8 bits really weren't capable of doing proper 3D. So here we are, we're flying the helicopter between some large licorice all sorts. Again, the sound's definitely better on this one as it is in the Spectrum. The sound in the Spectrum one is not very good at all. It's quite a sedate pace. It's pixely graphics, but what can you expect? You're trying to run a multi-thousand-pound arcade machine on an 8-bit machine, you know, with a tiny amount of memory, so, you know, it is what it is. It's really no worse or better than any of the other 8-bits that I could see. So anyway, yeah, I think that's enough of that. That is the Amstrad one. Right, next one is the Master System. You can see it was released in 1988. Now, bearing in mind that this is a Sega console and a Sega game, you would think they would try and do a decent version. Now you can see there, what they've done is they've not attempted to try and replicate the 3D part of the game. So they've gone for quite a traditional vertical shooter, which in some cases is actually the better option. Though as a kid, when you want the arcade game, if the game that you get is just based on the arcade game and it's not trying to replicate the graphics, then you might have been a wee bit disappointed. But I don't know how successful the Master System would have been at this. So yeah, this is more like a traditional vertical shooter, which is no bad thing, but it's not arcade Thunderhawk or Thunderblade, I should say. There's always a wee bit flickering with the sprites as well in the Master System, but it was an 8-bit system, so you know. So yeah, not the greatest, not a bad game, but it's not arcade. So that's the Master System. Right, next up I've got the Commodore Amiga. Now I did play this quite a lot back in the 80s, and if I remember rightly, this was actually quite a good version. So fingers crossed I'm not disappointed. Oh, there we go, there we go. Got to say the control, the control mechanism of the systems that only have a joystick and one button isn't easy. So you pull back with fire button. No, sorry, you pull back. Is it with fire? Yeah, it's pull back with fire button to increase your height, and then pressing forwards makes you kind of move up the screen. But it looks similar, very very similar to the Atari ST one, but it just plays a whole lot better. I mean, the frame rate is, it's definitely not 60 frames a second. It's probably more 20 frames a second, if that. But compared to, like, say, the Atari ST one, at least it's playable. I'm guessing it's probably down to the sort of custom chips on the Amiga, which allows it to actually to do a better version. Let's go and have another quick little shot. As a game, I can't say it's a particularly good arcade game. I mean, it's not a game I've ever returned to. I've never ever thought to myself, I quite fancy a game of Thunderblade. I think you would really have to play the arcade one, you know, for the full sort of 3D effect. Sitting in the big sort of, I think it had a hydraulic chair, I'm sure it did. Right, let's see how this part, whoa. Clouds are certainly zooming about left and right quite quickly. Must be very very windy. Yeah, it's a fiendishly difficult game. But anyway, that's the Amiga. That is certainly one of the better versions. Right, this is the MS-DOS one. I was actually curious to find that. I checked Wikipedia and I noticed there was one for DOS, and I managed to get it running under whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of the software. DOS box, I think it's called. Now, was this using the EGA graphics, or would it be the VGA graphics? I'm not quite sure. I mean, for a PC, early PC game, it's quite colourful. It's even made a fair attempt at the music as well. I'm not quite sure about the big white buildings. It's just big squares. There's not an awful lot of effort's gone into that. Let's see how this works. Yeah, this, you know what, it looks like it's unfinished. You've got the sprites, you've got the explosions, but the buildings are just rectangular white bits of grey, which is a bit rubbish. It's kind of ironic now when you think that the PC is now the powerhouse of the gaming hobby. You know, it's all custom graphic cards and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is what early PC games look like. You can. I'm more interested in the guy at the top. He actually looks like a zombie. The guy on the right. He looks a bit pissed off. But anyway, that is the PC DOS one. Right, now I've got very, very high hopes for this one. This is the Sharp X68000. Now this is a powerhouse computer, so this is going to be good, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to disappoint. Anybody that watches my channel for any length of time has probably heard me talking about this computer. I've never actually had the pleasure to see one in the flesh. It was only released in Japan. They're as rare as hen's teeth to get. They're stupidly expensive. It's all in Japanese, and you know they're apparently they're quite unreliable as well. So the chance of me actually owning one of these is probably next to zero. It's probably not a practical thing to actually own because of all the problems. But yeah, through the wonders of emulation, it means I can actually get to enjoy. I'm just interested, you can see the little shadow below my helicopter. Does that actually increase in size when I go down? Let's watch to see next time I'm actually killed to see if the wee shadow increases. Alright, the shadow is now just a circle. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that this is probably the best one we've looked at so far. The Amiga one's pretty good, but this is definitely the best one so far. Still got another couple to look at, so I shall reserve judgment for the winners and losers before, you know, until I've seen them all. So that's really, really nice. It's nice and smooth as well, which is good. At least you can actually see what's going on. It's got it's got a decent enough resolution and draw distance that you can actually see what you're trying to shoot at. And I think because of that, it's actually easier. I'm actually getting further in this version than I have in all the other ones. So yeah, that is a nice one. That is the Sharp X68000. Right, second from last, guys, we've got the Sega Mega Drive. Now this one is called Super Thunderblade. They had a habit of putting the word Super in front of consoles, especially the SNES. That was always particularly bad. So I don't know. Oh, possibly it's Super because it's got this little intro, which personally I don't think adds anything to the game at all. It's annoying. You see it once, you think that looks nice. You can obviously skip it. So yeah, they obviously that's where it's super because of that bit. Now at least this one does half a decent job at actually the sort of 3D part of it. Wait a minute, I've just noticed something. This is completely different, because the arcade one and all other versions you start looking down on the helicopter, whereas this one has jumped straight into the 3D section. So yeah, they've tweaked this one. So that must be where the super part came in. So it should really be based on Thunderblade, this one, I think, because they've done away with the first section. They've changed the perspective and jumped straight to the sort of 3D part. It's a very frustrating game though, it really is. I mean, this isn't a bad game, got to say. As a standalone game, at least it's fairly playable. So that is the Mega Drive, guys, and let's take a look at the very last version. Now this one is a cheeky little addition. This is actually on the Nintendo 3DS. Now I said at the very start this would make an excellent 3DS game, not realising I actually own the damn game. I bought it, I think it's on the, yeah, it's part of the Sega collection thing that I bought. It's a really nice little cartridge. So you can see here, this does a grand job. It'd actually be interesting to see, and I'm not gonna mess about, but it'd be interesting to see this running side by side with arcade. I think you'd probably find that this one actually looks slightly nicer. It's probably got some more kind of subtle colours. And I've got to say, the 3D in this actually works really well. I've not recorded it, I just pointed the camera and cropped it for this. I didn't try to do the 3D obviously because it wouldn't work. So just to recap on the different versions, I've got to say that none of the 8-bit versions were really up to much. It was a brave attempt on all three, but you know, you're never going to replicate a multi-processor game like this on an 8-bit system. Master System 1, they've changed it, they've kind of cheated a wee bit with that one, so it's basically shoot 'em up. Atari ST one is pretty horrendous, the frame rate is terrible. The Amiga one is pretty good, got to say, that's nice. Mega Drive one, again, it changes it slightly. The Sharp X 68000 one is really nice, and obviously the 3DS one is the best one. But I'm going to exclude the 3DS one from this sort of comparison because it's not an old console. I think in third place I'm going to go for the Mega Drive one. It is a nice version, but they've taken shortcuts. They've taken out some of the levels. In second place, I'm going to go for the Commodore Amiga one. It's a really nice attempt. The frame rate's not bad. But in first position, no surprise here, I'm going to go for the Sharp X 68000. But if you want to play the definitive version, play the arcade one or the 3DS. As usual, guys, thank you very much for watching.